first of all, Michael, it's your debut as a director. Congratulations for that.
Yeah.
How challenging was this new experience for you?
It was the most challenging thing I've ever done. You know, just the entire process, from like, you know, cultivating an idea to you know, working with my collaborators, to pre-production, to training, to, you know, shot listing, to, you know, just, you know, being a part of all the, you know, just departments. I had to learn everybody's love language. I think that was the biggest thing for me. And learning how to communicate with everybody was a skill that I, you know, developed, worked on, and I think I grew during the course of this project. So I think that and you know, and time management was probably, you know, some of the more challenging things of acting and directing, but it was something that made me feel the most alive.
Yeah, and I bet also the boxing scenes, of course, and the trainings were so exhausting. And I read also about that many people were trying your workouts, Jonathan, and many of them also failed doing them. What would you say? What was the hardest scene for you both, and maybe also injury on set?
We could probably talk about injury,
because
there was none, right?
Yeah,
did you get beat up? Did you get hurt?
I mean,
Not an injury.
Not an injury.
We got bumps and bruises.
But I'll say the most challenging scene is...
I'm gonna say the diner.
Hey Mann, Bro. Soll ich dir helfen?
Bekomme ich ein Autogramm?
Nein, ich gebe keine Autogramme. Jetzt weg von meinem Wagen.
Oh, Homie. Kennst mich nicht mehr, hä? Hast es weit gebracht, seit ich dich von Mama abgeholt habe.
Dame. Mann, du hast mich fast erwischt. Damien.
Ja, bin dort wieder in der Hood, wollte mein Seite Schirm, aber...
Ja, wir hatten ein Upgrade vor ein paar Jahren. Weißt du?
Okay, I'm gonna say... I'm gonna say the scene with Adonis and Amara. And when he was teaching her how to box, and limited time, and to be able to, the combination of, you know, communicating, translation, with interpreters. That was a scene that I had in my head vividly, so you know, it needed to be just right. You know, some of the scenes that you have an idea, you don't really visualize it as much. You know, it's just you know, the spontaneity of the magic of all the elements comes together. But then there's some things that, as from a director's standpoint, that I dreamed about, literally dreamed about, and I needed to see that on screen. So with the limited time and the pressure, that was a moment. You know, I mean, after they yelled cut, I cried, because it was like, whew, okay, just the adrenaline, the letdown, and I got it. So I think that was probably one of the more challenging ones that I had to shoot.
Okay, interesting. And Jonathan, you are the friend and the foe of Adonis at the same time. What do you think makes Damien as the villain so important for the story of Creed?
Well, I think because it's Creed 3, I don't think Dame could show up at any other point in the Creed saga. I think he has to show up here because it's where Adonis is and what we can learn about our hero. And I think this is, and I am biased, but I also am a fan of the franchise. I think we watch Adonis be most heroic in this picture because his foe is so intimate and so in his emotional life, in his social life.
And I think, you know, in order to really know about Creed, you got to know about Dame.
It's a bit of a revelation, right? And I think in cinema and in storytelling, the thing we lack so much is revelation, primarily because you don't trust the person that you're following. We trust Adonis so deeply. And so when you see something come out, and this something in this case is a whole nother human being, right? With a whole different point of view, there's a huge revelation there. And what ends up happening is a flip-flop of revelation, because you know Adonis so well, you feel very cozy with Damien. You know, you feel like, yeah, I know him. But then they both begin to unravel, and the unraveling is kind of the most beautiful part of the picture.